Alright ladies, game number 2. We have a pretty epic series on our hands here at the Ritmix RSL. This is the quarterfinal. We have a best of 5 and oh boy was that first game good. Live versus MMA, I mean if you just look at the names, this is already one of those series where you're like, well, that could be pretty sick. And game number 1 was exactly that. Pretty sick series, a 40-minute game between MMA and Live. In the end, it was the Zerg player who took it, and God, I love it. Currently looking at the bottom left of the map, we have on Neoplanet as the Terran player for Team Acer. This is, of course, MMA. And big shout out to Team Acer at this point, and especially to Kaoru, aka Fred. Starting to the top right with a 10 pool, we have the Startail player, and ooh, wow, someone wants to get aggressive. And you know, this could work out quite well for him here. If there's a command center first on the low ground, MMA is gonna be screwed. And that's exactly the build that MMA used in the last game. So Life is gambling a little bit here. He's looking at this and he's making one of the smartest choices that you can make. He's an experienced player and he looks at this game and he's like, well, this is a best of 5. I'm in a 1-0 lead. So at this point I can gamble. If you play greedy, I'm gonna punish you. I will be there, I will see it, and I will kick you while you're on the ground. I do not care. That's how I roll. And MMA is gonna start with the CC. Biggest question now, of course, being CC on the high ground or CC on the low ground. Looks like we have a high ground CC, but even with that, Live can do a lot of damage here. Of course, the question also being, how much is he gonna commit to this? Like, we should see the barracks in just a second over here, but this is definitely one of these things that stresses you out a little bit as a Terran player. If you go into a very early pool, if Life would have gone into, like, let's say an 8 pool, 7 pool, or 6 pool, he could have done even more. But you sacrifice, of course, a lot more of your economy to pull that off. But your Zerglings arrive so fast that you will be able to force a cancel here. I don't think that with this timing he necessarily will be able to break through, but he actually could. He's already starting to just get more and more Zerglings out, but now he's of course hitting his supply max, so he needs to get his own base up. We will see the expansion. You can already see the drone just moving down to the natural. So a pretty aggressive opening here by Life. You can't get more aggressive than this. And he's probably not gonna be able to do too much here. That's the problem if you're up against a high. If you can kill the SCV, that would of course be great. And he takes it out. Nope, he doesn't. So yeah, this is now the scenario where SCVs have to be pulled to repair immediately. SCV gets taken out, and ooh, that actually delays the barracks for quite a little bit. And he needs to send units over to save that supply depot. MMA, hey, hi, Earth to MMA, Houston, you've got a problem. Alright, that was close though. That was really close. But yeah, MMA is losing mining time here, but in general, I personally don't like the 10 pull opening too much. I'm not a huge fan of that. I really like if a Zerg gambles and goes into an earlier pool than this, because then you can punish a command center first on the high ground. But if you go for a 10 pool, this is just not gonna work. As soon as the Terran player starts to repair with SCV, it's gonna be really good for him. So well done by MMA here, nice hold. But yeah, if you see a 10 pool opening and you have the command center on the high ground, command center first, you're gonna hold. As long as you just don't screw up. So this is one of the problems that Life, even though he's in the lead in this best of 5, now currently has. And that's why I like the earlier opening a lot more, because Life now is behind. I mean, think about what we have now. We have a Terran player that is already on double orbital with the 21 SCVs against 18 drones. Life sacrificed a lot of his economy. There's complete safety for MMA at this point, going into a refinery and also factory here, so taking the additional gas. So MMA is in a great position and just needs to get his orbital now down to the low ground. For Life, it would have been very great to just go for an even earlier pull than this. Now he's far behind, and this is very annoying for him. So the 10 pull opening is great if you counter command center on the low ground, and you still have a bit of economy. So it's not as bad as if you go into, let's say, a 6 pull or a 7 pull and your opponent holds. But ooh, Life actually. Life? Oh my god, look at that. Nice reaction by MMA. But Life still being very aggressive here, but also good job here by MMA. That was a good reaction, dealing with all those Zerglings, but the bunker is done right now. So I like how Life is playing this as a follow-up, but still, earlier pool would have been better for him, then you can break through at the command center. Basically all I want to say at this point. But, great reaction so far by MMA. Seems to use Hellbats against his opponent. Not really what I expected to see, but that's gonna be an interesting choice now that we have the patch and that the damage was reduced. Life, of course, in this particular scenario, it's not like he lost the game already. He's behind, he's playing this from behind, but he's still in the position where he can take it. And he's taking a third base now, and that is actually going to play into MMA's hands. Because what MMA is doing now, he's going for hellbats and he's going for drops. And if you have 3 bases that you can target, it's of course much more difficult for the Zerg player to defend those 3 bases. If you only bounce between 2 bases, it's a different story. So Life at this point is even going into the speed upgrade for the Overlords because he wants to find out what's going on. Think about what Life knows. He doesn't know jack shit. He knows about the factory over here. Oh, actually, my bad. Wow. He saw the armory. When did that happen? Did the Zergling go in this fast? I really thought they were limited to the ramp. I apologize and I take everything back. He actually knows exactly what he needs to know. He knows about the armory. So now he should realize that he's potentially up against Hellbats. I thought those Zerglings were already stopped over here and didn't see those buildings. Okay, that's pretty cool for him then. I was worried that he had no idea what's going on in this game, but he actually has a fair idea of what's happening. He doesn't know about the 3rd command center, and that's something that he would of course like to know. But yeah, still, that is pretty cool for him. So 3rd base for MMA also coming up. Life now a little bit in a supply lead, not too significant at this point. We have double engineering bay against double evolution chamber, but here come those drops. And I find that choice a little bit weird for MMA to go into that drop play, to be quite frank with you. Let's see how much damage he can do with this. Well, 4 Hellbats. Oh, the cluster! Life! What was that? Only 3 killed though, and that shows exactly how bad Hellbats are now in the early game, how much they've been nerfed. Only 3 Harvester kills with all those drones clustered, and they only got 3 kills. But they take out 2 Queens, and that's a bit of a different story. But just imagine Roaches here. I thought that all of those drones were like basically dead, but he gets all of those away. He fights with the Harvesters. I am not quite sure if that's gonna work. There we go, 5 killed in total. Not really done all that much, already losing 2 Hellbats, but the Queens, that's the important part. Getting those Hellbats, getting those Queens, that's exactly where he was like, yep, at least I did something. But yeah, for me it's still a bit surprised to see the Hellbats without the Blue Flame upgrade. That timing, I would have loved to see him go into Cloaked Banshees instead, if he wants to do something. A Widowmine drop, for example. A Hellion drop even. Just something different. This, I don't think, really did too much for him. Overlord Street coming into play. Showing him the 3rd base and also everything that we have up here with the added tech. But, yeah. Let's see what we now have in this situation for Life. The tech into lair tech has been started at the natural. Roach Warren is also coming up now. We have a decent creep spread. And to be quite honest with you, Life is starting to come back in this game. He's still behind it, as you can see, in overall supply. That makes quite a difference when you are down in supply against a Terran player. 1-1 for both players. A little bit faster for Life. That gives him a slight edge. But for MMA we already have the armory, so heading into 2-2 shouldn't be a problem for him. Neither is it going to be a problem for Life, but he's already losing a little bit of time since his lair tech is not done when those upgrades hit, so that gives MMA time to actually catch up with this. What's cool for Life is his creep spread. Once again, he's really focusing on it. He needs to get those Overlords to safety, which is exactly what he does. The Viking with 2 kills, and most likely we're going to see a 4th base here fairly soon. The Zerglings are trying to just move in and do a bit of damage, but the Terran player is ready. With the 20 supply lead, you feel very confident. I love how he immediately lifts those supply depots. I've actually been harping a lot on Terran players not outkeying those supply depots, and I still think it's a really huge oversight that Terran players don't do that. Most Terran players that I know don't use 10 hotkeys, so just hotkeying the front, those supply depots right there helps you so much. You look at the minimap and you see Zerglings running towards your base, and you just have to press 2 hotkeys and you're safe. But I've seen so many Terran players lose to Zergling run-bys because they were just a little bit too late and the Zerglings already on top of the lowered supply depots. So that's something that Terran players have to do, and I've been talking about this for nearly 2 years now, but very few Terran players actually do it. So Zerglings still trying to find a bit of an opening, but suddenly they are trapped here and they have to fight because at the right side the exit is blocked by supply depots. Most of the links already down, and just look at how the supply numbers start to work in favor of MMA with 160. And this is a result because of the strategy that Live used in the early game. The advantage of MMA wasn't that visible earlier on, but now it's pretty plain that Live is far behind, especially since he's not even started with 2-2 and MMA has his 2-2 already on the production tab. Only the armor upgrade for Live so far. He completed his Spire, but MMA really starting to press him back. This is all about the encounters that we have right now. If Live gets good baneling hits, he might be able to just claw his way back into the game. And let's not forget about the comeback that he made in game number 1, so I wouldn't put it past him to pull it off. But if you pause the game right now and you show the state of the game to any Zerg player or Terra player, they'll tell you that Live is... I mean, shit is basically hitting the fan right now. He's down in supply, he's supply blocked, we have the entire army moving in, that bottleneck works great for the Terran player. He's moving in, tanking baneling hits, another force is already walking over to the right side of the map. Live with a great job here, and even those Zerglings in the back are not gonna survive for all too long. Here's the rest of the army, he's still dropping, the Mutalisks are being taken out, a Widow Mine at the front. This is just not going well for Live. He is so far behind already. Started his 2-2. But MMA, he's everywhere on the map right now, and he might even get a snipe off here. Not quite with all those banelings available, but he's taking out a fair number of them, and as you can see, he just moves back with his entire medivacs. And this time, he has the medivac count. He's at 5, he wants more, goes into the double here, but once those upgrade hits, he will be in a really good position here. Resources lost overall, I mean, this tells the story. 6,200 against 2,700. The army supply 120 against 70. This is just devastating for Live. This is not what you want to see when you look at this tab at 60 minutes into the game. Another move forward, and those Widow Mines already in a good spot. 2-2 not done just yet, and Live suddenly has a bit of a upgrade lead, but even that is not going to do too much. A Thor is going to take charge of all those Mutalisks, getting his hits off here. And he's even following it with a medivac, trying to get the afterburners into the game too. 2-2 is going to hit any second, and then Live is going to... Oh no! What was that? MMA going full foreigner with that move. That was a little bit unexpected. I'm not quite sure what he wanted to do here. Maybe save the Thor, but that was a really bad idea with all those Mutalisks this close. So suddenly we have the Widow Mines in position, and oops, he could take that down. Gets a few hits, but not the best trades here. Still a massive lead. I mean, he is still looking at a 40 supply lead at this point, and the 4th base at the bottom right side, that has not been spotted, but he saw the gas, so he should know. And we have another base to the left. Look at that 3-3 before we even see the infestation pit. No infestation pit on the tab, it's just nothing that he has right now. 7 barracks, he's hitting his production cycles quite well here. Could add a few more. He's starting to bank up now that he has the 3-3 started, but... yeah, you can already see that Live is really struggling to just survive. But he's really trying. He's really trying. Live is putting a lot of effort into this game and really trying to just come back into the series. Or not in the series, but now he has to deal with another attack at the 4th base. And this is, of course, what he hoped to just sneak past MMA. If he gets an unscouted 4th in, he's in a much better position. But now the medivac heading over straight to the natural. We have more units over at the 3rd base. He's just everywhere. MMA with a really good job here, good performance. Could be a little bit better with a stim, and there it is, taking down quite a lot of these units, still fighting at the main, and Live is just doing what he can to stay in the game. I have to really give it to Live. I mean, the resilience that he's currently showing is incredible, and in terms of resources lost, he is actually starting to even out the playing field. But we still have so many units everywhere on the map. He has a double Widow Mine here at the mineral line at the 4th base that is being active. Spore Crawler is going to help a little bit, but not too much. MMA is still pushing forward, and he is on his way to 3-3. Live not even has the infestation pit on queued up, so he can't go into those upgrades for a long time. Widow Mines with good hits, but also taking out those medivacs. Not the best hits. The second one was much better, and Live just realizes that this is not going to stop. This is going to continue for just so much longer. So he GG's, leaves the game, and MMA brings this best of 5 to a 1-1 score.